What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another Bring the Juice Colts podcast live stream. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying your Saturday night. Hopefully, everybody is having a good time, and hopefully, everyone out there is staying safe. Guys, the third day of the NFL Combine and the drills are done. Only one more day left, and we're going to talk a little bit about the combine. We're going to talk about draft. We're going to talk about free agency. You know, this really doesn't have a set time and doesn't really have a set like way in which I want to go with this. So please make sure as you guys are coming in, please be sure to like the stream. Shout out to BetUS for powering this stream. If you guys are looking for a sports book this off season, look no further than BetUS. Be sure to like the stream as you're coming in, guys. It helps the algorithm. It helps it get out to more people. What's going on, Smokey? What's up, man? How you doing? But yeah, be sure to like the stream, guys. Helps it get more people in here. Be sure to comment in the comment section. Like I said, you guys can help dictate where this stream goes. Definitely want to talk about a lot of different things today. Might even potentially try and get another content creator or two in here tonight. Just all depends. But yeah. And be sure to subscribe, guys. We are 41 subs away now from 41 subs away now from 20,000 subscribers. Today was my first manager shift. Not gonna lie, it was a little rough. I feel you, man. I feel you. Draft Warren. Hey, that's a possibility. Very well could be a possibility. Cody and Derek been putting in that work. Seems like BTJ video comes out every day. Bobby, we certainly try, man. We try to at least get a video or a stream up every day if we can. Sometimes, some days we won't. Sometimes we just aren't capable. But you know, especially now with only a week away from free agency starting, you know, you gotta keep up with this stuff. But we appreciate you hopping in here, man. What's up, Michigan Wolverines? My guy, what's up, man? How you doing? Good to see you in here once again. Emin Wari put up some nasty numbers today. So much for my hopes of him dropping to us in the second. Yeah, you know, Daniel, that's funny because a lot of people had him as a second rounder. Some had him as a first. And now with the numbers to back it up, that's kind of what people are saying is like, they were wondering how are the numbers, like his athletic numbers, going to match up with his size and his play. And sure enough, he's got some really good numbers. We'll actually talk about that here in a minute. If Debo can stay healthy, that could be a huge trade. Yeah, that trade for Debo to the Commanders was huge. Yeah, if he stays healthy, that's a phenomenal trade for the Commanders. Doesn't even matter that they're paying $18 million. Like, they're still going to have $65 million in cap after that. So they got a lot more room. So it was a great one. Yeah, so again, as everybody is coming in here, guys, please be sure to like the stream. Please be commenting in the comment section. Would love to just kind of go with whatever flow you guys have. I did want to say this because this was another thing that was kind of annoying me today. That was annoying me a little bit today about when it comes to this whole combine thing. Here's the thing. So we have been talking so much, right, about how we've always called Ballard the RAS king, right? Because Ballard just always Ballard seems to draft a lot of extremely athletic physical specimens, right? That's kind of what has been on the train of a lot of things. And I think that one of the I think some of the lowest scores that we've seen have been like in the high eights from a lot of players recently from the Indianapolis Colts. And I think even Josh Downs was one of them simply because of the fact that, you know, he was so small, right? His size hurt him a lot. Well, now it felt like people finally caught on to that, right? And we're telling people that we're tired of Ballard drafting people based off of RAS scores, right? I know that they'll say that's not what it actually was going on, but it's no coincidence that when Ballard drafted in the last few years, the majority of them had insanely high RAS scores. No doubt that had some influence. They saw how athletically gifted some of these people are, and they thought that they could take these athletes and train them into being what they want, right? Well, now we're coming into a situation now where you move on from that, or you try to look at other things and you try to say the RAS score doesn't matter as much. But I still see people that are trying to argue in the favor of the RAS score. And it bothers me. It's bothering me again because it's the Malachi Starks argument for me. So, who was it? Daniel, you brought up Emmanwori. That is a perfect example of this. I'm not saying you did it, but I'm just saying from what I'm seeing from people on social media. The only reason you're drafting Emmanwori over Starks is because the only reason you would be saying that is because you think that you see a 6'3" guy that has all these insane measurables and then put up some insanely great athletic play or athletic moves without pads. And then you sit here and you say, that's the guy you should draft at 14 over Malachi Starks for a couple different reasons, right? The problem is, I look at Malachi Starks and I think Malachi Starks is a smarter player. I think he's he could be a more productive player. And I think his ball skills are better. Because Malachi Starks' RAS score was not great. Like it wasn't. He wasn't elite really at anything at the combine. He's not elite. Like Kent Lee hit that, and his thing is not elite. But when you watch him move on the field and you see him do these drills, right? He's got that length. He's got great movement in his hips. And the way he high points balls makes you think he is such a great player. And guys, like some of the numbers that he did put up that you're not going to see, like on the RAS scores or the numbers that the NFL Combine is going to bring up, those are numbers that matter too. And he showed a lot of great things in those. Sure, his 40 time wasn't elite. Sure, his height and weight may not be elite, but you look at the production of him. And then on top of it, you look at the numbers within the numbers. You look at some of the top speeds he hit. You look at his 3-cone drill. You look at some of the other things that actually matter. But yeah, and so and Daniel's bringing it up really great. RAS is great, but film should not be ignored over it. I would absolutely take Starks over him. Yeah, exactly. Like the film is more important than combine numbers. It will always be. And that's kind of another thing too, why I've kind of been people that have been trying to use Harold Fannon's combine and Senior Bowl stuff and use that against him, right? He makes that use that as an argument against why his stock is falling, right? Because again, we keep saying it, you can't use the combine and the Senior Bowl and all these other things to try to find ways to bring these guys down, because you'll fall down that rabbit hole really quickly if you try to find the minute details in things that sometimes just don't matter. And it's happening a lot. I'm seeing it, and I'm seeing the hypocrisy of it from a lot of people on Twitter. And other social medias. I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to be crazy about it. I'm not trying to, call anybody out. I'm just saying, we hear people say it all the time that you need to talk about, you need to show the film, and the film matters more than everything else. But then you have people talking about these combine numbers and these Senior Bowl numbers as if they're the reign on how you rank these guys, and it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's not about being the fastest or most athletic. It's about if you can play football or not. Absolutely. Super Pony, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I feel like there's a lot of situations you've told me in the last few streams where you'd be pretty freaking livid if we made some moves, man. Not gonna lie. Yeah, you need to take a look at what Anarumo needs, not athletic scores. Facts. Jabril Peppers and Isaiah Simmons both had incredible versatility, but didn't live up to the hype. Yeah, you're not wrong there. A lot of it can also be where you're drafted into. A lot of it sometimes matters on that. I'm more on the Jahad Campbell train in the first, all-around linebacker with pass rush ability to help disguise and make lose defense truly multidimensional. Oh, man, him in the first. I will say this. If Tyler Warren and Malachi Starks are not there, I would trade back a little bit and get Jahad in the later first. That would be me. Agreed. Who would you draft a QB for competition? Ewers or Howard? Probably Howard. I just don't know. I don't know how the QB board's gonna fall, dude. I have no flipping idea. Everybody that is tuning in, please be sure to like the stream. It helps the algorithm. It helps it get out to more people. Please be sure to like the stream. It helps us out. And we are so close to 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, guys. Really could use your help. If you're not subscribed yet, please do so. Hopefully I can get someone else in here tonight. I would love to be able to get somebody else to come in here and hang out with me today. Who knows? DJ's mock first round is awful. Yeah, I think I've seen it. It's been bad. Oh no, you're good. Terrence Ferguson. Yeah, I haven't seen his. I've seen a lot of people be very happy with him. You're right. Not a lot of great numbers. At least not in 2024. Yeah, not even really overall. 2023 was pretty solid. It was about the same numbers, but a little less yardage, but it had more touchdowns. I mean, he's been pretty consistent over the last few years. Just never really been an elite number, but I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I've heard people say some good things about Terrence Ferguson. Again, if that's somebody you want to go with late, that's fine. But like, is he really the difference maker that you need? Right? I'm fine with the Indianapolis Colts getting multiple tight ends throughout this offseason, but there has to be an elite one. There has to be someone that is going to make a difference on them. Trading back and taking Loveland. I think I've heard you say that before. Thank you again to everybody that is tuning in tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Hey, Charles, I'm doing pretty good. How are you, man? Weren't the Raiders looking to trade Michael Myers? It's Mayers, I think, is the actual last name. But yeah, so if Mayers is available, which I've heard everyone say that they have, and I'm not 100% confirming this, but I have heard that the Colts have been interested in Mayer. I would be totally fine with that. I'd be totally fine with Mayer, being with trading for Mayer because first of all, yes, he's had a few injuries. I get that, but he's young and he didn't get a benefit of the doubt in the fact that his rookie year, the quarterback play was abysmal for the Raiders. And this last year it was still bad and he had a few injuries. But I think you could do a lot of great things with Michael Mayer if you went with him. No doubt. Oh, Michelle Tootin. I haven't heard much from him, to be honest. Mason Taylor would be a really good pick. I've heard some people say that. Again, it all comes down to, is that the right pick for the Indianapolis Colts, right? That's the main important thing here. Not gonna lie, I'm a little interested in Jackson Dart for a second or third round QB if he falls. No earlier than the third for me. No earlier than the third. You do not take a quarterback that high right now for what you're trying to do. You have a roster to build. You have a roster to build. You do not take a first or second round quarterback. Use those picks for players that you actually that you think can actually do good things. Week away from free agency starting. Yep. Can't wait for that, man. Should the Colts cut Jelani Woods? No, you shouldn't. Because at the current moment, he has the highest ceiling potential. Like, I'm not saying that he will reach that, but he has the highest potential. So What was the Stafford deal? Um, it was a. See if I can find that. He had 2 years left on his 4-year, $160 million contract extension. I think he's making 27 million this year. I think was the number. I don't care if our QB competition is going to be through the draft, the competition, because I don't actually really believe that we're going to have a serious QB competition, but it can't be early in this draft. It can't be. Not unless you're bringing in some big free agents. The cornerback and edge rusher have looked the best. Other than that, trash. Oh, that's not true. The running back group looked really good. There was a lot of guys running in the 4.4s. A lot of them. Couple guys in the 4.3s. Now that is a hot take. I will say this: the numbers you could agree could back those up. I don't really think he is. I really don't think. I think Travis Hunter, to me, is the third best wide receiver in this draft class. He would be, if he was getting drafted solely off of being a wide receiver. In my opinion, he's the third best. Because, yeah, Jonathan, the competition. Yeah, no, there ain't gonna be no competition, dude. There ain't none. Yeah, but I know the numbers make it look like he definitely could be the number one, but I don't think he's as refined as other guys in here. Agreed. And I'd be fine with that. Will Johnson's on the board at 14 and Starks and Warren are gone. Do you draft Johnson? Yeah, I would. I know a lot of people have, said they're worried about his numbers. Unless he does absolutely terrible at his pro day. If he does absolutely terrible at his pro day, I'd be considering it. But Will Johnson is a really elite player. Yeah, that's agreed. Here's the thing. All right. So Wentz, they drafted Hurts because they were concerned that Wentz's injury history was going to catch up, and Wentz started falling off a little bit the year after they won a Super Bowl. So it's different. Wentz was still playing pretty good, but he dropped off quite a bit from the year that the Eagles won the Super Bowl to when after they drafted him. It's a completely different situation. If you truly believe that Anthony Richardson is not the guy, then you need to get somebody else. But if you don't really think Anthony Richardson's the guy already, you have done a disservice to the Indianapolis Colts fan base and this organization by drafting a guy and not giving him a chance. No, Smokey, I haven't seen that. will continue to give value free agent players. See, that's funny hearing that statement because last year he didn't. Like, honestly, the last few years, there's been multiple times he hasn't. So I can't really sit here and say that I have confidence that he will. I can't. Travis Hunter reminds me of that Ron Swanson quote. Don't half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing. Well, here's the thing. No, I don't think he half-asses anything. He's a good wide receiver that has really good production in college. He's also a really good corner who has some really good numbers at the cornerback spot. I think just the problem is that you can't ask Travis Hunter to play both sides of the football at the next level, at least not 100% of the snaps all the time. You can't do that. The NFL is a different beast. The physicality is different. The conditioning is different. It's different in this league. And you can't ask him to be on the field 100% of the time. I know he says he can. And I love the confidence. And I really think conditioning-wise he might be able to, but his body would break down over time. He should play one position 100% of the time. And then the other one, you have some packages in there. You can throw him in there. I would say he should be on the field as a cornerback 100% of the time, and then should be a wide receiver for certain packages. I'd be fine with that. Warren reminds me of Gronk. Yeah, I'd even say Warren might be a little bit more athletic than Gronk. He's close to the same size as him, but hot take, I prefer Hampton over Genty. That is a hot take. My goodness. Would you be happy if we get Warren? Oh, 100%. No doubt. He's clearly the number one tight end right now. And, he's a difference maker, man. Agreed. What players we cutting? I have no friggin' idea. There was also leadership issues with Wentz. Yeah, you could argue that with Anthony Richardson, but Anthony Richardson's mainly just young. That's the difference. Yeah, Tina, I've heard people say a lot of that too, honestly. I've seen a lot of people mention that. Would you go off? Or you mean like go off as in like go off in happiness if we got Warren? Yeah, probably. Wentz got hurt in the playoff game. That's why they drafted Hurts. Yeah. Would you go after Michael Mayer? Yeah, I'd be fine with going after Mayer. Go get him, and then, you can draft another good tight end in the draft somewhere, maybe in the second or third round, and you can go get a elite defensive player in the first. Yeah, I agree, Isaac. I agree with you on that point. I think they're hoping that AR will turn around because they have no choice. I think he's had a lot of chances, just not working out, injury prone. Well, here's the thing. Anthony Richardson has to be given time to figure it out. Guys, 2 years is not enough time. Not for a kid who was 20 years old when you drafted him. And on top of it, in those 2 years, he's missed half the time that he should have been on the field. So you can't sit here and say that he's been given enough time. You're right. They don't have a choice. Ballard's job comes down to Anthony Richardson. If Anthony Richardson doesn't work out, you are going to get fired. You need to give everything you can to make sure that Anthony Richardson pans out. That's what you need to do. If he doesn't pan out for whatever reason, Ballard goes with him. That's what should happen. Ballard won't pull the trigger. Dude, I'm certainly hoping so. There's not another QB in this draft class outside of Ward and Shedeur Sanders that has starter abilities. There isn't one. And any others, you're just grasping onto the idea that you hope they could become starters at some point. There's a reason why none of these other quarterbacks are being talked about going in the first round, because they all have issues. Hell, even the guys that are getting talked about getting taken in the top 10, they have a lot of issues. Heard Jets going after Darnold or Cousins and taking Warren in the draft. I think they might go with a defensive player, to be honest with you. Do you have any belief in Ballard spending money because of pressure from Irsay? Well, I feel like you have to, right? For a couple reasons, right? Number one, after his end of the year presser, he said that what he did last year, allowing these groups to just build continuity and not really adding competition to a lot of groups, especially in free agency, that was a mistake on his part. He said that in his presser. So if you say that what you did last year was wrong in how you approached it, then that means you're telling people that I need to do something differently. So he has to make some moves. He has to. Second of all, Colts fans are sick and tired of Ballard of being on his high horse and not doing enough to make sure that things get better. Right? So that's the big thing. Fans will be livid if Ballard does not do something in free agency this year. If he does nothing in free agency this year, then you're going to have a serious problem, right? Tina, you don't know if Warren will be there at 14 or not. There's plenty of people that always fall for whatever reason that fall to certain places, okay? Jackson Smith-Njigba a few years ago was a guaranteed top 10 pick, and then he got drafted at pick 20 by the Seattle Seahawks. You think the Seattle Seahawks thought to themselves that he would be there at 20? No, it happens. People pass up on other people because the draft is a crapshoot, okay? Yeah, and that's a legit concern. You know, seeing him available all season, that is what the Colts need from him. You're not wrong. Him and his durability not being an issue is a problem. And I hope that he can fix it. Not sure if he can, but yeah, we need to. Yo, Smoky Dabs, that's elite, bro. But where's mine? Where's my Little Caesars, dude? Help me out here. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, no doubt. I mean, Anthony Richardson had his own issues, and then the coaches amplified those issues. So that was the problem. This will be his last season if he still isn't there. Oh, no doubt. I think that this would be his last chance to prove himself that if he doesn't drastically improve, then there's going to be some issues. We should let Ryan and Smith go, free up some money. We have other players to fill the void. I don't disagree with you there. Javon Holland. Yeah, I would love to see Javon Holland come to the Indianapolis Colts. I would love that. Will it happen? I don't know. He's going to probably be worth a lot of money. Oh, yeah, guys, before we go any further into this, just want to say again, guys, that this stream is powered by BetUS. If you guys are looking for a sports book this season, look no further than BetUS. I'm going to show you guys. I know the football season is over, but they have more than that. They have NBA. They have college basketball. College basketball coming up on March Madness here soon. They have hockey. They have baseball, which is coming up in a month. And then they have prop builders and odds boosts to improve your guys' odds. So be sure to check out BetUS, guys. Also, don't forget to use their promo code YouTube150. Get a 150% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit, then a 125% sign-up bonus on your next two deposits. Just use that promo code, but of course, guys, always bet responsibly. Let's be real, Will Howard and Dylan Gabriel are better than they are. They very well could be. They could also not be. That's a very true statement. That is a very true statement. Warren was basically the Penn State offense last year. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt about that. The lack of wide receiver usage in that Penn State offense was terrible. It's actually abysmal just how lackluster it was. Can't have a proper BTJ stream without him, bro. I feel you on that, man. Appreciate you. But hey, where's mine, dude? Help me out. Thanks for responding. You're awesome, and thanks for all your Colts coverage. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. We'll continue to bring you guys more, man. We're excited that free agency is around the corner. We're super excited because then that means we actually have legit content that we can bring you guys. You know, not just reports, not just all this stuff. We have stuff that we can bring you guys now. Appreciate everybody tuning in today. Again, greatly appreciated. I think AR is definitely doing the right things this offseason. Let's see if that translates to better play. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's getting work with Chris Hess, who helped improve Josh Allen's accuracy, and he's working out with Josh Allen in Florida. So, you know, he is doing all the right things, which is great. Trading Nelson is a good idea. That is not a good idea, but okay. Well, we appreciate you coming in here, man. Appreciate you. Tyler Warren isn't getting past the Saints. Yeah, it's possible he might not. It's possible he might not. Who would you be happy with our first pick? If we're staying at 14, I would be happy with Warren or Starks. For sure. It definitely it could come down to a couple different things, but those two players I would definitely be happy with. I'd also be happy with Will Johnson as well, if that is how, you know, if that's how it falls, right? Can accuracy be taught? Legit question. I still have doubts on this. Even if it can, AR needs to vastly increase work ethic to be who we need him to be. Yeah. So first things first, yes, accuracy can be taught. Because you know, it's just like anything else, right? The more you do something and the more dedicated you are to improving your craft, the better you will become. It's just like anything else. Accuracy can be taught. And honestly, if your accuracy isn't good, then there can be a lot of reasons for that, but it also can very well be the fact that maybe you're just not trying hard enough. And the reason why that's true is because, for one, there's a reason why any NFL quarterback at one point didn't know how to throw a football, right? Just like when you're a young kid, when you're 5, 6 years old and you're just you might be picking up the football for the first time. You don't know how to throw a football. You don't know how to accurately throw it to people. And even when you're 8, 9, 10 years old and you're playing with your friends in the backyard, right? You've been throwing a football for a while, but that doesn't mean you know how the ins and outs of throwing a football accurately and where to put it, right? You only get better with it because you work on the mechanics that are necessary to get better. Josh Allen is a great example of this. Josh Allen was not a great quarterback at throwing the football in his first 2 years in the league. Then he got help, and now he improved his throwing accuracy by over 10%. So it can be done. Even later in life, when you're already in the league, you can have those accuracy problems, but there are ways to fix those if you're willing to dedicate yourself and listen to how things are done and if you actually care enough, right? Yeah, I'm excited for that too. Yeah, do not trade Nelson for real. Yeah, some of it definitely is his feet. I think there's more to it than that, but that definitely is something. Yep. That is great point too. Yeah, you do things a certain way for so long, and then after a while, when you get somebody telling you how to do it differently, it can be an adjustment. It can take a while. Yeah, I agree on that, Gafia. As far as Winston coming to the Colts, I've heard a lot of people say that that would be a good QB competition for Anthony Richardson. I would be fine with it, honestly. I don't think he's a great QB option, but I mean, I wouldn't hate the idea of it. Jerry, Trey Smith, the guard for the Rams, he's the highest paid guard in the NFL now. And like that's so I mean, he's higher than Quentin Nelson. Nelson's contract is not a problem. It's not a problem. Wide receiver is not a necessarily a need, but there seems to be a lot of good wide receivers in the draft. On the contrary, I really don't think there's a lot of good ones. I mean, there could be some solid late round ones, but me personally, I don't think this is a really kind of weak wide receiver group. Outside of the first couple, there's not a lot of great ones after that. There might be a couple good role guys, but not a lot of not a lot of day one immediate impact starters. At least not in my opinion. I hope we get Warren so bad. I know a lot of people are saying that, man. Culture, what's up, man? What's good? Nothing much, man. Just chilling. What about Bond or Tez Johnson? Um, you know what? I'm under impressed with Bond and Tez. You know, like I think that Tez has a great skill set. Um, yeah, I think Tez has a good skill set, but he shot himself in the foot with this combine. Not only his numbers on the field, but his talking about that people asked him about the matchups with Ohio State and how in one game him and the Ducks just smoked Ohio State in a lot of ways offensively. And then in that second matchup, how they could do absolutely nothing right. And he shot himself in the foot when he said that the Buckeyes couldn't match up with them skill for skill in either matchup. So they just changed how they did things. Like, that's not true. Like, you guys got destroyed. Like, you produced nothing in that second matchup. You sound lazy and that's just a lazy cop out argument. Like your ego got bruised by asking about that. That's what that sounds like. And not to mention his numbers were not as impressive as everyone thought they were going to be. They were, it was underperforming, especially Bonds. Bonds was out here talking, "Oh, I know I'm going to beat that ton tomorrow." He barely ran a 4.4. He ran a 4.4. ran a 4.4 practically on the dot. He wasn't close. And outside of that, what stands out about Bond? Isaiah Bond don't have nothing that stands out. He's 5'10". He's 5'10" and he's 180 pounds. I know that Devontae Smith is the same size, but Devontae Smith won a freaking Heisman. Yeah, it's not an insanely great wide receiver class this year. The great classes are the running back groups, and when it comes to corners and linebackers and safeties. That's a lot of the really good classes. Outside of that, there's not a lot more. Would love Travion. Dude, I would too. I would love Travion Henderson. I don't think we get him, though. I don't think we get him. We'd have to get him in the second because I don't think he makes it to the third round. To be completely honest with you, I think Travion Henderson's one of the best backs in this draft class. Yeah, him and JT would be freaking elite. Sorry, guys. I am working on something here. For some reason, I'm having issues with this. Give me if the Colts make the playoffs, is Ballard safe? For the most part, I would say yes. For the most part, I would say yes. What do you feel about the Colts meeting with the IU QB? Be fine with that. Who's the sleeper? I don't know. When it comes to like the running back room, or even with Philip Rivers, we couldn't pull a W. Yes, but that was with a different coaching staff. That was with a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things that go into that. They were very close, and they're a much younger team there. And then on top of a lot of things, I mean, when it comes to this, like, but you need to make it to the playoffs to feel like you have taken a step forward, because that's where we thought we were going to be. Yeah, he was near 40. Charles, I don't know what you're asking me there. That sentence was all over the place. Interesting. The Colts had a formal meeting at Combine with Quinn Ewers. Yeah, no doubt. Definitely interesting for sure. Warren or Starks would be a great one for me. Probably hop off here in a few minutes here, guys. So get those questions in. Would you be good with Loveland? Not as high on Loveland, but if that's what the Colts felt was necessary. Who's your free agency favorite? Javon Holland, Cameron Bynum, Dre Greenlaw. How many subs you guys need till 20K? 38 now. 38 subs. That's all we need. Zach Baun. Yeah, Zach Baun was another one. Zach Baun is one I'm definitely interested in. Who would Derek Largent take at 14? It would either be Warren or Starks. Warren or Starks. You think we could trade for Hendrickson? I doubt it, but you never know. I doubt we could because you'd have to give up good draft compensation and you'd have to take on a contract. No, the combine didn't change who I'd be okay with at 14. If Richardson would eat more breadsticks, he'd be a beast. Breadsticks for Colts players like spinach for Popeye. Yeah, hey, listen. That should be the motto. Colts players, you gotta eat more breadsticks, bro. Smokey, put that as your header, bro. That's what on Twitter. That's what you need to do. Because that's a fact. All right, guys. Well, I think that's gonna do it for this one. I'm gonna chill out for the rest of the night, but thank you guys so much. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Saturday nights. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will continue to cover this week and obviously when free agency and the draft is around. So that'll do for this one. Thank you so much. Shout out to BetUS for powering the stream. And as always, guys,